Welcome back. Now we're going to talk about the power of choice, freedom, independence, autonomy, sovereignty, and empowerment. You can see that there on the screen. This is a lecture that we're going to talk about in this video. And I just renamed this lecture from the previous name. I don't even remember what it was. We could probably go up here and look. Previously, the name of this lecture was Owning Your Future. But the more I reflected upon this, the more I realized that this isn't about owning your future. This is about the power of choice, which is part of owning your future, but more specifically, more accurately, the power of choice reflects the takeaway that I want you to get from this video. Because as you go to college or university, and we're talking about this in the context of college or university, but this is also something that applies to all of life. But as you go to college or university, you're going to experience more freedom. You're going to get more independence. You're going to get more autonomy. You're going to get more sovereignty. If you're paying attention and you learn from this lecture, you're going to get more sovereignty and you're also going to get more empowerment. But this isn't only applicable to people who go to college or university. This is actually applicable to all humans everywhere, because this is a stage of psychological maturation. And there's this continuum that all humans are on. They're somewhere on this continuum, and the continuum goes from two ends. And down at this end is the end you don't want to be at, and up at this end is the end of the continuum that you do want to be at. So at one end of the continuum down here, we have the victim mentality, we have dependence, we have complaining and feeling like life is happening to you, and a negative mindset. So you don't feel like you're in charge or in control of your life down here, or that you have impact or effect over your life down here, right? Victim mentality, dependence. Over at this end of the continuum where you want to be is empowerment, independence, autonomy, freedom, sovereignty, empowerment. I already said that, right? But over here, you're really in the driver's seat of your life. And so you want to be aware that this is something that you could cultivate in your life. This is the first takeaway from this video. You want to be aware that you can cultivate this inner sense of strength, that you are building your life, you're in charge of your life, you're in the driver's seat of your life. You get to make the decisions, you get to take the actions, you're independent, you're autonomous, you're free, and you have sovereignty, which means in the kingdom or queendom, which is your life, you rule supreme. You rule supreme over your life. You are the one that gets to make all the decisions about your life. Nobody else, only you. And you are the one that is fully responsible over here at this end of the continuum. You are fully responsible for your life. Nobody else is responsible for your life. Only you. Nobody else is going to look out for you more. Not governments, not corporations, not even your parents. You're the only person that's going to be with you your entire life, right? Like right now, here I am recording these videos in this house where I record the videos. I'm the only one here. I'm with me. Nobody else is with me. And as you go through your life, like you're the only one who is going to be with you the entire time, and you have to look out for you. You are responsible. You are fully responsible for your life. Your decisions and actions are all yours. They're all yours. And you will live or die. You will be happy or unhappy. You will succeed or fail based upon your decisions and your actions. You will live or die, be happy or unhappy, succeed or fail based upon your decisions or your actions. It is your life. You're fully responsible for it. That's the main takeaway. This is the continuum that we're all on. This is the good end of the continuum you want to be on, that sense of empowerment and self-efficacy, and you make a difference, and you're in the driver's seat, and you make the decisions, and you take the actions. This is where you want to be on the continuum, and it's your life. So as you're going through life, you could practice cultivating the sense of empowerment and efficacy and being in the driver's seat of your life. As you're going through life, you could practice this. You could build this skill. It's a muscle you can build in the mind, right? And you build it by consciously making decisions. You build this muscle by consciously making decisions, right? And consciously recognizing that I am the one making decisions for my life. So that's how you build it. And so today, for instance, to illustrate, I had to go downtown after my job at the college. I had to go downtown, and Google Maps said, here, go this way, get on the freeway. I was like, I don't want to go that way. I want to drive this other way. Right? And you know, plenty of times I follow Google Maps, but also at times I'm like, I'm going to make my own decision. And just knowing that you can make your own decision, and also being able to act on that, having that sense of self-efficacy that I don't just have to do what the algorithms are telling me to do, right? Like that's really important. And so I drove through an old part of town. I saw old buildings. I saw old neighborhoods. And I got to where I needed to go. It took me a few extra minutes, but I was exercising that ability to make my own decisions and take my own actions. And so that's the main takeaway of this video, right? Like everybody, all humans in their life, we're on this continuum, and it really benefits us to move over here where we have more of a sense of efficacy and impact, and we have that, this is what psychologists call it, this internal locus of control. So internal, inside us, the locus, the center point of control is inside us, the internal locus of control. And they've done research on this, and Charles Duhigg, I'm gonna recommend some resources, some books in a lecture video coming up soon, but Charles Duhigg wrote about this in his book, Smarter, Faster, Better. But having that sense of self-efficacy and that internal locus of control and making the decisions in your life and feeling empowered and feeling like you're building your life and not blaming your life on others. Remember, blame, victim, that's all down here at this. Not blaming your life on others, but taking full responsibility and accountability for your life, standing in your own two shoes, as one of my teachers used to say, stand in your own two shoes. Like doing all of that is only going to make your life better. That's what the research shows, and that's what Charles Duhigg wrote about in his book, Smarter, Faster, Better, which I'll provide a link for that to you in the course outline, and we'll learn a little bit more about all those resources in a video coming up. But this is researched, it's science-backed, that it makes your life better when you have that sense of self-efficacy, that internal locus of control. And the way you cultivate that is by actively making decisions, actively and consciously making decisions. What do you want to do? What do you want to eat? What kind of health do you want? Like, what kind of diet do you want? How much do you want to exercise? Like, start consciously making decisions. Recognize what your long-term goals are. Like for me, one of my long-term goals is I want to have great physical health my whole life. And so that's my long-term goal. And to make that, to implement that, to make that a reality, right? And on the short term, every week I exercise at least 3 times a week. Like, okay, that's how I implement it. Those are my weekly goals, and they help me achieve my long-term goal. Start making decisions. Start making decisions. What kind of a life do you want? Seek it out. Start building it. Put in the effort. Life takes work, people. Do the work, right? Like, go talk to your academic counselor if you're on a college campus. Who are the good teachers? I want to take good teachers, right? And if your academic counselor hems and haws and they don't really know, you're fired. I'm going to go get a different academic counselor. Make your decisions. Take your actions, right? That's the kind of attitude you want. You want to be able to be like, this is what I'm doing. This is why I'm doing it. I'm building my life. I'm in control. I'm in the driver's seat. I'm making the decisions. I'm going left. I'm going right. I'm paying attention. I'm taking in my surroundings. I'm taking in my environment. I'm learning as much as I can so I can make better decisions. 3 things make you successful: what you know, who you know, and mindset. I'm learning as much as I can to make better decisions, and I am fully responsible for my life. I am the one that's fully responsible for my life. I'm not going to blame anybody. It's my life from this point forward. It's my life, right? Things may have happened to me in the past. They may have set some momentum and set me in a current direction, but from this point forward, I'm responsible for my life. If I got baggage, dysfunction, unskillfulness that I need to clean up because of where I came from or things that happened to me, or whatever conscious energy I might have brought in from the spiritual universe when I incarnated as a human, right? I am responsible for my life. I'm going to do what I need to do to clean that up and become more skillful. I'm going to take skillful courses. I'm going to learn things. I'll seek out a therapist, a wise village elder, somebody who's studied psychology and knows how the mind works, so that I can learn from that person and they could help guide me and train me to become more skillful. I'm responsible for my life. I am responsible for my life. Me, nobody else. I'm never, ever, ever going to blame anybody else again. I'm grateful for everything that I've been given, even if part of what I was given were some challenges, some dysfunction and some skillfulness. Look at everything that went right. You're still watching this video. I'm still here. So much had to go right for me to still be here and for you to still be there. You had to be fed. You had to be cared for enough as a baby so that you got food and so that your diapers got changed, right? Like, some people did not make it that far. Some people did not make it that far, and enough went well in your life, regardless of the other stuff that might not have gone so well, that you are now in a place that you could start to take full responsibility for your life, clean up the stuff that wasn't so good, and become more skillful. And part of becoming more skillful is recognizing there's this continuum, first takeaway of this video, recognizing there's this continuum from unskillful to skillful, from dependent victim mentality to fully empowered, full responsibility. I'm the one making my life happen. That's the first takeaway, right? There's this continuum, you're on it, you're consciously aware of it, start to cultivate it, start to move up the continuum to being more skillful, more independent, more autonomous, more free, more sovereign, more empowered, that's the other word, and start to move on that continuum. That's the first takeaway. The second takeaway is that you can cultivate this sense of empowerment. You could cultivate this efficacy. You could cultivate this internal locus of control by consciously and actively making decisions in your life. Make decisions. What are you having for dinner? What are you going to do? Where are you going to go? How are you going to drive? Consciously make those decisions. And don't just go on some pattern of behavior that's like, I'm just going to drive the most efficient route. No, go some way sometime just because it's a nice view. Drive through that neighborhood because it's interesting, right? Instead of being on the main busy streets, like, let's check out the houses in this neighborhood. Let's check them out. Put something on. I always listen to that. That's kind of autonomous. That's kind of routine. You know what? I'm going to try a different genre of music now. I'm going to check something else out. Let's find something interesting and new. What looks good? Let me try a different genre. Like, make some decisions, take some actions, create some variety in your life, expand your horizons, learn about something new, right? Like all of that stuff, like start to cultivate it in your life, and you cultivate it by making decisions. That's the second takeaway from this video. Make decisions, because as you make decisions, you're going to build that muscle and you're going to start to more fully own your life and occupy that driver's seat in your life, and you'll start to be more self-empowered, and you'll feel more self-efficacy, and you'll feel more impact, and it's all going to be good. It's going to move you along that continuum. So that's the main takeaway from this video. It's applicable to all humans, right? We're all on this continuum, but it's particularly applicable to the stage of life when, individuals, teenagers leave home, right, where they've been in a dependent environment and they have been, structured, and their parents are telling them what to do, and they haven't had as much independence and as much freedom, and they leave that and they go to the college university environment where they suddenly have a ton of freedom and independence and autonomy, right? And it could freak them out. And some people go wild with that, they party too much, but you need to make the decisions and take the actions which are right for you. So be skillful, keep your head up. You're responsible for your life. Nobody's looking out for you, or nobody's going to be with you more than you. You're the only person that's with you your entire life. So when you come up to a street, literally and metaphorically, take in your environment, look around you, take in the surroundings, gather information, and make a great decision. Because if you don't do that, you could get hit by a bus. Literally and metaphorically, right? So you want to make good decisions and take good actions, because you are now fully responsible for your entire life, and you now know it. You now know it, which is a great blessing, because you could start to cultivate it. So those are the two main takeaways from this video. There's this continuum, you're on it, move towards the skillful, independent, autonomous, sovereign, free, empowered side of this continuum. And number two, you do that by consciously, proactively making decisions and deciding, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. You're in my life, you're not in my life. Setting boundaries, super important, right? Like start to cultivate that sense of internal locus of control, of decision making, and you're gonna grow that muscle. All right, so those are the two takeaways. I made some notes here so you could pause video and you could read through them right here. And then, I scroll down, here are some more notes. You could pause video and you could read through them right here. In high school, you were the passenger. In college, you're the driver. And then here are the rest of those notes right there. So you can pause video and you could read through them right here. No one else is writing your story, you are. And think one decision you made this week that moved you closer or further from your goals. What do you want to eat tonight? What kind of a diet do you want to cultivate? What kind of a palate do you want to have? What kind of palate do you want to cultivate in your life? Do you want a very narrow, limited palate, or you want to try Indian food, Thai food, spicy food, Italian food, different types of food? You want to grow your palate, experience different things in life. What kind of person do you want to be? Right? Do you want to be cultured? Do you want to know a lot of things? What do you want to be? Make the decisions. What kind of physical health do you want, right? Make the decisions. Start making those decisions. You're responsible for your life. You are responsible for your life. Nobody else. It's 100% you. You can no longer blame people. Your life is your responsibility from this point forward. Good luck. I truly wish you good luck.